Technology brings us closer together, even when we're far apart. Google developer groups host Meetup events for local technologists to connect, learn, and grow with others in their area.
The project I'm mostly proud of would be teaching Introduction to Programming to 7 girls in my hometown.
In the GDE, I used to attend various workshops, like it was on Firebase, Android, Cloud. Everyone is learning from someone else.
We started to meet twice a week for a long time, learning Google Cloud. Amazing experience.
After joining Accenture as a software engineer, I started to share my journey in Medium, podcasts, and talks at online bootcamps.
My talk inspired one of community members a lot, so I mentored him to start his latter path. And 1 year later, at the same conference, he was giving a talk at the same stage.
One member of our community moved from being a DJ at our event to a developer in the first leading bank in the country.
When we do events that impact a lot of people, we are bringing opportunity to our region. So a lot of investors, a lot of startups, they will start to see opportunities here.
Technology brings us closer together, even when we're far apart. Google developer groups host Meetup events for local technologists to connect, learn, and grow with others in their area.
The project I'm mostly proud of would be teaching Introduction to Programming to 7 girls in my hometown.
In the GDE, I used to attend various workshops, like it was on Firebase, Android, Cloud. Everyone is learning from someone else.
We started to meet twice a week for a long time, learning Google Cloud. Amazing experience.
After joining Accenture as a software engineer, I started to share my journey in Medium, podcasts, and talks at online bootcamps.
My talk inspired one of community members a lot, so I mentored him to start his latter path. And 1 year later, at the same conference, he was giving a talk at the same stage.
One member of our community moved from being a DJ at our event to a developer in the first leading bank in the country.
When we do events that impact a lot of people, we are bringing opportunity to our region. So a lot of investors, a lot of startups, they will start to see opportunities here.
So, hello everyone. Hello GTG Athens community and welcome to another online event. Hello George. My name is Maggie Kodu. I'm one of the co-organizers of this community chapter. I hope our event finds you all well and tuned to learn more about machine learning. Today I have the pleasure to welcome our key speaker George, who is a senior Android developer and also a Google developer expert at machine learning. And if I'm not mistaken, George, today you're going to talk about the topic which is machine learning in embedded devices in 2022, including highlights about TensorFlow, APIs, and TFHub. And before I welcome George on stage, just a quick reminder our event is live streaming on Facebook page, YouTube, Twitch account. So, in case you want to make any questions regarding George's talks, please leave a comment. So, George, welcome. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. How are you, Maggie?
Are you ready for your presentation?
Yeah, sure. It's nice to talk for things that you really like.
So, I would like to welcome you to the GDG family and the GDG Athens community, and the stage is yours.
Thank you. So, hi everyone. I am George Soloupis. I am an Android developer and machine learning engineer. My nickname is Pharmacist because I'm also a pharmacist. So, back in about 7 years, I wanted to create an Android application for my colleagues, and I started learning things about Android development. And I really loved this topic, so I continued learning about this topic. And about 3 years ago, I also met machine learning, and I was really fond about this task. So basically, in the past 3 years, I'm trying to combine machine learning with Android development and to build some cool applications that we are going to see a few examples later. So basically today we are going to talk about machine learning inside embedded devices. So basically on-device machine learning. We are going to talk because I believe in the audience there will be people that they don't even know about machine learning, and maybe we have people that they are really experienced in machine learning. So basically, we are going to talk about on-device machine learning. We are not going to talk about how we are going to train a neural network and how we are going to when we have the data set and we are going to train the network and etc. But we are going to stay at the business side. Let's say that when we want to create a task inside a mobile phone and we want to use machine learning inside the mobile phone. So let me share the screen and start a little bit with the presentation. Okay. Yeah. So first of all, we are going to see a little bit some examples that currently we are doing inside the mobile phones. We have simple tasks like, I don't know if I'm presenting. Maggie, can you confirm? Can you see my screen?
Yes, I can see your screen. Actually, can you make the presentation full screen? Just make sure that everyone can see it.
Like this, okay, thank you. So basically, these are some simple examples that when we are using our mobile phones, right? When we are calling an API, we're getting a response back. We are showing some images. We are showing the text. Sometimes we are calling again the API. We are populating some recycler views. We are showing images and text. Really cool stuff, right? Or We have some application to listen to the music. Other tasks like exchange messages, receive emails, navigate, search for the weather, make some using the e-banking applications, take view photos, calculators, and many more. But what about when you get into a project and you are working there and you have a really crazy product manager or a business analyst, and they say, "Hey, George, we are going to have style transfer right now. We are going to take a picture and we are going to have some paintings, and we want you to add some flavor there. We're going to add some style here. What about this? When you are going to use the camera, take a picture, cut the person from the picture, and change the background. Also, another application that does classification of sound. It identifies if this is a speech or if it is a music, instruments, or if someone is clapping their hands or they does a finger snapping. Another cool example, and really weird that is not really you see it a lot of times inside the applications that we are using on the phones. When you're going to do OCR for text, let's say that you are at a project and they say to you, "Hey, you have to work with a KYC team, know your customer," and the subscribers there have to take a photo from the identification card, and you have to extract all the text from there.
George, may I interrupt you?
Yeah.
Are you still on slide 3?
Sorry.
Because the screen actually is freezing on slide 3, right?
Here we don't have any videos, just an image.
Okay, perfect. Because we've been listening about the audio and I wanted to make sure that you are at the same slide. Perfect. Sorry for the interruption.
No problem. Yeah. So yeah, another example here is when you want to find depth in the two-dimensional photos. Then it's another task that you cannot do it the easy way, like what we have learned in development. You can only do it with machine learning, or to create a cool portrait that you cannot do it by hand. You just take a picture of yourself and you create a portrait. And also this another difficult task, like estimate pitch in audio. Just listen, the application just takes the raw audio and identifies the pitch, and you see the notes at the musical pentagram. Well, someone will say, "Hey, George, these are really edge cases, right? Who is want to estimate pitch or create a portrait and etc." But take a look at this. Sorry. But take a look at this. We are already using it, right? It's a Google Lens. It identifies animals, plants, and more just by pointing the camera there. Or when you are chatting with a friend and it immediately you have smart replies at the bottom, and you can immediately reply to your friend. Or really cool applications like, let's say, Snapchat, that it just take pictures of yourself or videos and identify where the nose, the ears, and other landmarks at the face, and you can add different things there, make cool images. So basically, this can be done with machine learning side on-device. So on-device machine learning is a programming technique that provides your applications the ability to automatically learn and improve from experience without being explicitly programmed to do so. It is especially well suited for applications that utilize unstructured data, such as images and text, or problems with large number of parameters, such as predicting the winning sports team. As we said before, we are not going to explain how machine learning and deep learning neural networks are working. We are just going to stay at the business side. Let's say we have the previous tasks like product manager says, like, you have to do that. And so you have to know where to search at the beginning, and makes your life easier to know where to search them and how you are going to use them. Also, I want to mention here, except from the TensorFlow and Keras, I want to mention about Collab. I hope everyone knows about Collab Collaboratory, that it is a data analysis and machine learning tool that I think everyone has it, because if everyone has a Google account, you can have a drive, and there you can load the Collaboratory. It is a machine learning tool that allows you to combine executable Python code and rich text along with charts, images, and etc. It's basically, instead of having TensorFlow at your computer and trying to update things every time Google updates TensorFlow and other libraries, then it's useful to do the machine learning and the inference online and have everything packed together in a collaboratory notebook. So about a year ago, Google tried to gather all the things together, and all the they had really different libraries, and they tried to help developers by creating a web page that has all the things together. So they created the on-device machine learning web page that we are going to review here. Basically, first of all, it says at this application, I want to say that everything that we have, these links, they are at the PowerPoint that we are going to share later with you. First of all, they explain a little bit what are the benefits of on-device machine learning. First of all, it's the low latency. You can process text, audio, and video without sending data at the web server. And second, you can keep the data on the device, so you don't have privacy issues. And of course, you don't need a network connection, and everything is really fast. So they tried inside Google to gather all the solutions together and give the developers the ability to select different tasks, as you can see here, and have immediately the examples at their hands. So basically, if you are an Android or iOS developer, let's say that you can select barcode scanning, and immediately you can pick a solution and you can directly go to the example see and how you are going to use barcode scanning with the examples and to use it inside your applications. Of course, if you click again face detection, one task that is really popular. So basically, you can pick also the solutions and go there and see how you are going to use it. If you see also other solutions like pose detection or object detection, it has also some cool stuff like hair segmentation. You can see here what you can do. Basically, if you have the data set, you can build, I believe, anything right now. One of the things that you can see here that at a lot of solutions, we have machine learning kits. So basically, we are going to speak a little bit about this SDK.
George, we actually can see what you are sharing. We are stuck in your slide 19 in the presentation. Are you sharing an example in a different tab or something?
Sorry, I didn't catch that.
Are you sharing another tab? Because we only see your presentation.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, okay. Maybe some problem with the permissions here with the okay.
You can actually share your whole screen if it works for you, and we'll see the tabs that you change.
Now, can you see that or not?
No, still we don't have anything shared.
Only the presentation, right?
We don't actually have the presentation now.
You only see me.
Yeah, exactly.
Let me see. Okay. Yeah. Maybe I have to. Okay.
You
Okay.
have to click on share.
Okay. Okay. Now I believe it's okay.
Yeah. Great.
You see this also my presentation
Yeah,
and
we
this.
can see your
Okay.
browser and everything. Thank you.
Sorry for that. Okay, so basically we were talking about this web link because about 1 year ago, Google tried to gather all the solutions together. So they created this web page where a developer can select the task that wants to do, let's say vision or to natural language or audio. The most common is computer vision, and you can see here that there are different solutions like barcode scanning, or you can see hair segmentation, pretty cool stuff. If you have the data set, you can do a lot of things. You can find a lot of things online. You can, of course, as we said, is the face detection task. It's really common. And we said that one of the solutions that is really popular is the machine learning kit. So it's basically is a SDK that brings the Google's on-device machine learning expertise to Android and iOS application. It is powered by Google, and it's I believe it's like a best in class. Even big companies are using machine learning for different tasks. Let's see for a few minutes some of the tasks that you can do with machine learning. First, of course, we saw about face detection. It's really cool because except from face tracking, basically you can have an image and then you can track, you can find how many faces are there. And of course, you can, except from that, you can find the landmarks. Let's say that you want to know where the nose is or where the eyes is, and create again this cool stuff and apply different things on the image that you have. Also, you can have the contours for the different landmarks. And of course, one thing that also you can find with the face detection, the ML kit face detection, is the face orientation. You can distinguish if the user has the head upwards, backwards, left, right, and if it is rotated. It's pretty cool, and it's already used, and you can use it with a few lines of code. You can go if you're an Android developer or iOS. It has a pretty good documentation, and you can see the documentation, and with few lines of code, you can have immediately the results. Other things you can do, other tasks that you can do with machine learning is the pose detection. You can see it's also pretty cool. Imagine all these fitness applications and whatever you can do with them. You can have segmentation. You can cut the person from a photo and apply different backgrounds or whatever effect you like. You can have, of course, I say again that with few lines of code, let's view a little bit the Android code. You can just use the dependency inside the build Gradle file, and then with few lines of code, you can have immediately the segment from the picture, and you can do it whatever you like. It's very fine documentation, and it's pretty easy. Other tasks that you can do, it's of course barcode scanning as we saw, and of course you can see here the text recognition as we saw back, because I believe this is also pretty useful, because right now a lot of companies are focusing on KYC, and they want to know the customer. They want the customers to upload some identification cards, and with this you can easily get text from printed documents. So I believe this is one of the most popular tasks here with ML Kit. So basically, as we talk about ML Kit, but let's say that you go into a project and then you have something really weird, right? And they tell you to take a picture and then identify car's wheel and to replace it with something different. So how do you do that? Then this time ML Kit is really difficult to help with that. So basically you have to go, and one of the options is, of course, to go and see the documentation about TensorFlow Lite. TensorFlow Lite is a set of tools that enables on-device machine learning, and it's helping developers to run their models on on mobile, embedded, and IoT devices. It addresses 5 key constraints. First of all, latency. There's no round trip to a server. Second is privacy. No personal data leaves the device. Third is connectivity. No internet connection is required. Of course, we have a reduced model and binary size. I remember back 3 years ago, I tried some models inside the mobile phone with PyTorch, and I believe back then it was about 250 megabytes. So it was pretty difficult to use it inside a production application. Also, with plain TensorFlow, it's really difficult. Sometimes you have more than 100 megabytes. And with TensorFlow Lite, you can go down to really a few megabytes to some kilobytes. So it's really cool, and you can use it inside your application. And of course, it's power consumption. They give too much attention right now to the power consumption. So let's view a little bit about the guide, and because a lot of developers sometimes they are trying to build stuff and find some easy solutions around internet. And first of all, they are trying to find something quickly, and they are searching at Stack Overflow and the other websites, and they want to get it fast and make it to use it really fast, but they don't even sometimes look at the documentation. And the funny thing is here that when I was preparing the presentation, after 2-3 days, they changed all the structure here. So basically, if some of you have visited this web page, now it's really different, and you can see other tabs here, and you can view and maybe they have packed it together and be organized like Androids, iOS, models, examples, and etc. So basically, one of the options that you have, except from PyTorch and other things to use, is TensorFlow Lite. So one of the key features of TensorFlow Lite It's optimized for on-device machine learning, as we have said, because it addresses 5 key constraints. It's multi-platform. It has multiple platform support covering Android, iOS, Linux, and microcontrollers. It has diverse language support: Java, Swift, C++, Python. Of course, you can use some accelerations. Sometimes are really difficult, so sometimes you have to do a task, and with CPU, you are waiting 2-3 seconds. So sometimes you have to use another delegate like a GPU, so you can have the results in a few milliseconds. And they provide you with some examples that you can go directly to the GitHub, and you can see all the code and see how they are structured and how they work. I remember about 3 years ago, I think inside this page with the examples, there were only 4 or 5, and now it's about 18, I think. So as time passes, everyone inside Google and whoever supports this TensorFlow Lite, they continue enrich it with different tasks and new tasks. And if you see at the bottom, it has a really cool and says on-device training. So they have even started to train some models and to do some training inside on-device, inside the mobile phone. Here you can find a lot of solutions like super resolution. It's you can have a low resolution file image, and you can make it really big. It's really cool, and in just a few seconds. You have audio classification. Of course, you have style transfer, smart replies, text classification. If you are an Android developer or an iOS developer, you can click the link and you redirect to the GitHub code, and you can download the code and you can play with it. So, except from this, it has a guide, except from the examples and the preliminary stuff. It has how you are going to run the models. So basically, the key concept is, first of all, you load the model, you transform the data, you run the inference, and you interpret the output. And I believe somehow right now we have lost about the 50% of the audience. I believe that 50% they have already closed. So let me explain a little bit and see how this will be more easy to you. And you will say, okay, George, you showed us about the guide, but where are the models? Okay, so you told us that you are going to see the business side of this machine learning inside the mobile phones. So basically, you can have, if you don't want to train, you don't have the data set, and you don't know how to train a model, you can come here at the documentation, at the guide, and you can click the tab for the models, and you can see and you can download a lot of models and to use them directly inside your project. A lot of them are for computer vision, of course. And usually it's for classification. And you can find other models for object detection, pose estimation, and etc., smart reply, and all, and pretty common tasks. Another thing that you can see is that the TensorFlow Hub to find other models. This is a repository of trained machine learning models, and they are ready for fine-tuning, and you can deploy it anywhere. So basically, if you go inside and you search for the models, you can see a lot of examples from the main domains like text, image problems, video problems, and etc. And let's go to see an example right away. So let's say that you want to do some classification. You can Click the tab at the classification. You can go inside. You see here all the options, all the models. Let's say we can click this. I have also downloaded it before. If you go inside, you can see some of the models are pretty cool and they have all the description. And you can see models with or without metadata. You can see their size, so you can decide either to use it inside your application or not. And you have some description about the inputs, the outputs, and some code snippets to use it inside the phone. So how we are going to use this? Let's say that we download it and have it at the downloaded folder, and how we are going to use it. One of the options that TensorFlow Lite has, and of course now I'm going to talk about Android development, is to use it directly with the Android Studio. So basically inside the Android Studio, about 1.5 years ago, they have, if you go at the file, new, and you go down to other, you can see an option that says TensorFlow Lite model. You click this and you pick one, let's say that I have the model that I have downloaded before, and you pick this and you click OK. You select the directory, and the Android Studio directly creates the folder. And of course, they give you here all the description and all the metadata. You can find the description and you see about the expected image. The neural network expects an image to be at specific dimensions, and of course the probabilities and the shape of the output. And the really cool stuff is that they give you also some code snippets. So basically, they have, if it has so many descriptions in the model, the model file is developed okay and have made the data, you have all this and it will be ready to be used. So if you just copy it and you go to an activity, let's say whatever, and you click paste, you will see that it's already already to be used. So basically, you use this and you have, first of all, you see here, you can pass directly the bitmap. You don't, if you don't know about the tensors and you don't know about the float arrays and you don't know what the model expects and etc., you see here the example that you just pass the bitmap and you just have the probabilities at the end. So let's go again and see another example to see that sometimes things are not so easy. Okay. Let's go back. Maybe I have to speed up a little bit. Let's see another problem. Let's say that we want to do super resolution. Yeah, let's say we are going to use this. If you see this task, you take a low light image and you enhance it and you see light at the pixel. It's pretty cool, right? And also the model is really small. This has been created by my friend, I think it was Sayak. Yeah. And okay, let's go again and insert it inside the Android Studio. You click New. You go below, you select TensorFlow Lite model, you select the 0DCE and select Finish. And here you see that we have a problem. Then we don't have the metadata, so the code snippet, it does have a lot of, we don't have a lot of details in the code snippet. I believe if we just copy it and just go at the main activity and we put it there, then we have some issues like the byte buffer and we have to create it by ourselves. So basically, if we don't have a model that has been created with a lot of details, then we don't have another option than to go again at inside the documentation and see how we are going to run the model. We have to just read and just follow these steps, like loading the model, transform the data that we are going to feed the model, run the inference, and then interpret the output. If you follow along here at the documentation, it has a very detailed guide, like how we are going to create the interpreter and how we are going to have the inputs, and of course the outputs, and just run this line of code. And of course, if you don't have a lot of details about the model and say that you have found this model online, and you don't know a lot of things, there is a cool web link that you can use. It's said NetNeutron, so it's neutron.app. Every link is at PowerPoint, so you can have it later. And if you just select the model, you can see it processes it, and you can see all the nodes. And if you click here, you can see the model and what the model expects, the inputs and the output. So this model that enhances the image from low light and converts it to with better light. So it expects an image that is a 4-dimensional array, and it gives us again a 4-dimensional array. So basically, you know how to manipulate your input data and what you will have later when you do the process. So I believe now that it's a little bit overwhelming and it was for a lot of developers. And inside Google, they thought about that, and they said maybe we are giving them a hard time. So basically, about 1-2 years ago, they started to create a high-level libraries, high-level APIs to help the developers to do such stuff with lower effort. So one of the high-level APIs is the task library that you can see here. So basically, instead of using the interpreter, instead of manipulate the input data and having the outputs and do all the things by hand, then for some tasks you can use directly the task library. You can find a lot of you can read the documentation here, and I'm going to show you a little bit quickly how this is better than using the interpreter and use all the things by hand. That will be a little bit overwhelming for you. So about 2 years ago, I had created a project for pharmaceutical association. So basically, I had created an application, and then there was a chat box inside, and I was doing sentiment analysis, and based on the messages, I was presenting the user some really quick replies so they can click it and to apply it to the chat box. One of the things that you can do when you have when you find online a machine learning model is, if you are aware of the Python code, then the first thing you can do is read the Python code and see how they are manipulating the data, so it will be okay for your neural network. So basically, this is a sentiment analysis task, and I'm going to show you how this was done about 2 years ago and how this has evolved now, and it is easier to apply at your project. So basically, inside the application, the neural network is something like that. So this is a simplified neural network model. So you have the inputs, you have a hidden layer, and you have the classification, and you have the sentiment analysis if the review is neutral, if it's bad, or if it is good, right? So this is a simplified model. So the neural network expects a standard number of inputs, let's say 40 or 100. So sometimes the reviews are bigger, sometimes the reviews are smaller. So basically you have to also do all this kind of stuff and have it ready. First of all, this today it was a little bit different because I just clicked the this notebook and everything was like it was run. Okay, never mind. So basically you have a CSV file with all the comments, right? And inside there, the comments, this is in Greek language, but inside there you can see that you don't make a lot of sense, but you have a lot of faith in machine learning and you know that it can find a solution about that. So first of all, you have the reviews, and the first thing that you can do, because you cannot classify some punctuation and etc. First of all, you have to get rid of the punctuation. You have to lowercase all the letters and standardize, and you have to make it everything like to be a block of code. And the most necessary thing is to create a vocabulary. If someone's like a vocabulary or a map or a dictionary, whatever you're going to say it. So basically you have to assign every word a different integer. So every word based on all the block of code that you have given, all the CSV file and all the comments, you assign every different word with a specific integer. So basically you have all of this dictionary. So maybe right now you understand. Basically you have a review like, I love this book. So basically you have to convert it to the integers that these specific words represent. And this array has to be fed inside the machine learning model. But as we said before here, the machine learning model expects a specific number of inputs. So basically we have to do something again by hand. Sorry about that. It's right now, I don't know why this is. So yeah, so basically inside this example, we had to feed our network with an array of 40, right? So other reviews are smaller and other are bigger. So basically we have to pad if the review is smaller, and or we have to truncate. You have to, and to make everything at specific number, like 40. And one review, it will be something like that. If it is smaller than 40, then we have zeros, and then of course we have the different integers that represent the words. And then of course, you know, you create the neural network, you start training, you finish training, and then you convert to the TFLite file to use it inside your mobile application. So whatever we do here with Python code, we have to do it again inside the application, inside, let's say, our Android application, right? So yeah, first of all, we saw here at the documentation to run the models. First of all, you have to load it. You have to transform the data, run the inference, and interpret the output. So inside the Android application, we load the model file. That's usually we are putting it inside the assets folder. And we are transforming the text. What we did, whatever we did with Python, we have to do that also inside here. So remove the punctuation, uppercase, replace the uppercase, split the strings, create the float array, You have to find the words inside the vocabulary, inside the dictionary. Look at this. So you have also this. You have to pad, you have to trunculate, and you have the float array ready. So after you have the float array ready, you have to, let's see what is like this float array is like. It's like full of zeros, and then you have the float values that represent the words, and you feed the interpreter with the inputs that you have converted to byte buffer, and you get the output. And then when you have the output, you interpret the output and you have the result. And right now, I believe we have also lost another 15 or 50 guys from the audience. So, so basically you see that to do something without having some high-level APIs, it's really overwhelming, and you have to spend a lot of time. And this and Googlers have seen this, so they created some high-level APIs like the task library. And what we did before, it's like the NL classifier. You go inside here, and with just applying a dependency inside the app-build Gradle file, you just use these lines of code without knowing anything about machine learning or anything about padding or truncating, creating a dictionary. You're just inserting directly the string without converting it to float array, and you have the results directly. So you see that based on the task, you can do it with less effort. If it is really common, you can use a high-level API like what we saw at ML Kit, or here with the task library. If it is something really crazy and something difficult, also the TensorFlow Lite guide helps you to run the models with the interpreter. And I believe that everything is here. It's at the documentation. You can read the examples. You have a lot of examples, and you can play with them. You can change them. You can do whatever you like. About 2 years ago, I just took this project, the style transfer, and then I converted it to use directly video. And what you can do it whatever you like. So, and of course, except if you find, you can find a lot of answers also. You can play some answers at Stack Overflow with TFLite guide, TFLite, sorry, tag, and also there is they have created the TensorFlow forum. So you can place there your questions if you have some difficulties creating a task. You can go there and you can put also the TFLite tag, and you can place your questions here. So basically, that was it. And we covered a lot of things, from easy stuff to more difficult stuff. I hope that I give you to I showed you how to use the easy high-level APIs, and how to use and see inside the documentation about the guide, and create projects with by reading the documentation. Also, you can see here with the Netron app, you can see whatever TFLite you have, and you can see the inputs and the outputs, and how you can manage your data. And that's about that. Yes, that was the presentation.
So, thank you, George, for the presentation and the dedication and the time you shared with us. And I have 3 questions for you from our community. So,
Yeah.
are you ready to answer?
Yeah, sure.
So the first one is, do you know of any popular products or mobile applications using TensorFlow or any kind of machine learning?
Uh, can you say it again if it is something popular?
If you know of any popular product or mobile application that actually using TensorFlow or any kind of machine learning, I mean, a popular that we all use and stuff like that.
I believe whatever has inside the face detection is using machine learning kit. It's the most common. I don't know something specific if I know if I say like Snapchat is using TensorFlow Lite, but whatever you see a face detection, you can say that they are using machine learning kit inside. Yeah, that's from Google.
Okay. The following questions are more technical, actually. So the second question is, does TensorFlow work with Firebase machine learning, or there are two different products, totally different?
No. Machine learning kit ML kit was linked with Firebase about 2-3 years ago. That they tried to separate it. Now you can use it directly without the Firebase. I think it was due to this Huawei issue we had about 3 years ago, and they had to separate it from Firebase. But TensorFlow Lite and Firebase is totally different. Sometimes you can use the Firebase to upload some models and do some tests generally, but it's like out of the scope here.
Mm-hmm. And last but not least, the question is, does TensorFlow work even if you are offline?
Yeah. That's the idea. The basic idea is to use it at your phone without having internet or without sending data to a server. So you can keep the user data, you have privacy, you have results faster. So this is the basic idea. And also you have applications with less megabytes, because the TensorFlow Lite, instead of having 70, 40, 100 megabytes, it's like 10, 15 or below. So it's better. So that's why they have created it.
Oh, that's great. So, George, are you going to share the presentation with us? I mean,
Yeah.
are you going to upload it and share? That's great. We're going then to share the link with all of you. Once again, George, many thanks for the presentation.
My
And
pleasure.
if I'm not mistaken, you're currently working on a community project that
Oh, yeah.
recently got supported by the Google Developer Social Impact Fund. And you're currently looking also for developers to join the project. Could you please tell us more regarding this? I mean, what's the point of this community project? What are the
Yeah.
skills that my developers need in order to join our team, in your team?
Yeah. So let me. I don't know if I'm still sharing the screen. I don't know.
No, but you can share it if you want to. We can also share with our community a link with more information regarding the project.
Mhm.
But if you can share your screen and tell us more, would be great.
Yeah. So I will just show you a picture about this. Can you see this? Can you see the
Yes, it's
presentation?
loading. Yes, we can see this.
Yeah. So basically, I applied about 2 months ago to Google to help us with a project. It's like an electronic nose. We are going to help people with impaired sense of smell. We are going to use some really simple AR sensors that are really cheap to use, and with the help of machine learning, we are going to assess the quality of specific foods. So basically, here we have a lot of stuff like hardware, single board computers, machine learning, connectivity. Basically, yes. Later we are going to connect it with with a mobile device to have some results there. So yeah, this is a project that is supported by Google, and if everyone wants to help, they can connect with me, they can send me a message, and I can share the details. And it's nice for everyone that wants to get involved here to add a Google supported project at their portfolio. So yeah.
Great. I'm going to share actually the link with our community regarding your project for those especially who want to apply and be part of the team. I mean, we always support community projects, so I would highly recommend our community to support this one as well. George, once again, many thanks for your time and the presentation.
My pleasure.
So for the rest of you, stay tuned for updates on our social media at the gdg.community.dev and at the meetup.com channel. And that's all, folks, at least on our next online meetup. And from me and our JDG Athens team, bye-bye. Take care.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye, everyone.
Technology brings us closer together, even when we're far apart. Google developer groups host Meetup events for local technologists to connect, learn, and grow with others in their area.
The project I'm mostly proud of would be teaching Introduction to Programming to 7 girls in my hometown.
In the GDG, I used to attend various workshops, like it was on Firebase, Android, Cloud. Everyone is learning from someone else.
We started to meet twice a week for a long time, learning Google Cloud. Amazing experience.
After joining Accenture as a software engineer, I started to share my journey in Medium, podcasts, and talks at online bootcamps.
My talk inspired one of community members a lot, so I mentored him to start his latter path. And 1 year later, at the same conference, he was giving a talk at the same stage.
One member of our community moved from being a DJ at our event to developing the first leading bank in the country.
When we do events that impact a lot of people, we are bringing opportunity to our region. So a lot of investors, a lot of startups, they will start to see opportunities here.